Juicy as pie.
This officer was by himself on a routine welfare check. What he didn't know is that he might be talking to a killer. Just past midnight on November 14th, 2022, a Milwaukee police officer responded to a welfare check in a residential neighborhood. The caller was concerned for their 75-year-old neighbor, who lived with 31-year-old Israel Webb II, a man who shared no familial ties. Officers were likely unaware of Israel's criminal history, which included armed robbery, carrying a concealed weapon, theft, and multiple disorderly conduct charges. According to a community briefing, upon arrival, Israel spoke through a window and agreed to let an officer inside.
After you?
Nothing.
You said you gotta make sure you got an animal or something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Here, Israel picks up a steel brake rotor on his way into the residence.
In the room.
What, this one?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that for?
Oh no, to block the door and swings open.
Gotcha.
According to the community briefing, this is the only entrance and exit in the home. The rotor likely weighs around 20 pounds, more than enough to prevent anybody from quickly leaving or entering the room.
You wanna just knock on the door for me?
Dorothy? She's laying on her bed.
Hey, Dorothy!
20, please.
Where's your bed at?
Yeah.
After you. You got any lights here?
Yeah.
You got the lights on?
I guess you can pay a bill.
Oh. Hey, you just go in there for me?
Yeah, come on.
What do you mean?
She's right here.
Oh. She's right here?
Yeah.
Dorothy? Is she sleeping?
Yes.
Okay. How long has she been sleeping for?
Like since 6.
What's the bag for?
She wets the bed.
She wets the bed? Why you gotta cover it like that?
Because of your rain, well, I open the window and stuff.
Bro, get to the damn point, my nigga.
Move.
Yeah. Report, show's gone.
3-4, take off the last.
On the ground.
She was escaped right from.
7.
On the ground. On the ground. On your stomach. No, on your stomach.
Please shoot me.
Sir, on your
You
stomach.
gotta shoot me.
Okay. You're doing too much.
Okay, don't take it. Don't take it back.
No, you're gonna get this.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down.
Put your hands behind your back. Now. Hands behind your back. Behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back.
What was the address again?
Your other hand behind your back. Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Put your hand behind your back. Your other hand. Yep, put it behind your back. Don't move. She's gonna do. Stop! Stop resisting! Stop! 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 Stop!
According to a community briefing, the officer attempted to handcuff Israel but secured only one wrist before a struggle began. At this time, the officer pressed the emergency button on his radio, signaling for immediate backup. During the altercation, Israel allegedly used this 2.5-foot metal pole and attempted to grab the officer's firearm.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
You got it.
Give me another squad here now! Sir!
Right in the face.
Stop!
Right in the face.
You will be shot!
Right,
Stop!
right in the face. Please, right in the face.
Stop!
Okay.
Drop the pole!
Right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Please, right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Right in the face.
Nigga said, Charles, what the fuck you got going on, bruh? Bruh, nigga said, drop the pole. Bruh, Fuck saying dropping the phone, bro. What the fuck, bro? Ain't nothing you can do now, bro. He saying shoot him in the head.
Give me another squad here now! Sir!
Right in the face.
Stop!
Right in the face.
You will be shot!
Right,
Stop!
right in the face. Please, right in the face.
Stop!
Okay.
Drop the pole!
Right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Please, right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Bro saying please right in my face. Bro, know he did some stupid shit, bro. I don't know why. Like, why would you do this just to die anyway, bro? It don't make sense, bro. Like, it don't make sense. It gotta be the medicine. It gotta be something. Like, I don't know, bro. You can't be this stupid.
Right in the face. Come on. Right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Right in the face.
Drop!
Do it in the head. Come on, right in
Sir!
the face.
Please, right in the face.
Drop the pole!
Right in the face.
Right in the face. Come on.
Now I'm gonna have to shoot
Right in
you.
the face. Come on. Do it, please. Come on, you don't know what I see. Do it.
Sir!
Do it.
Drop the
Do
pole!
it. You don't know what I see. Do it.
Sir!
Right in the fucking face,
Drop
man.
the pole!
Right in the face. Come on. Come on.
Drop the
Yeah, he losing his mind.
face. Drop the weight.
Responding officers attempted a rear entry to the building, but ultimately had to kick down the door to assist.
Subject is at gunpoint. Give me another squad.
Right in the face. Come on.
We are further out.
Don't take me, man. Don't take me, man.
What? Drop the weight. He said.
What game is this? What game is this?
Divided the enemies line up one by
I should look on the road.
Get me! Get me! Give me your hand!
Check that room. I got it. Someone get medical now. Call for medical.
According to a community briefing, despite being tased, Israel threw the brake rotor at the officer, prompting the officer to fire his handgun. This photo shows the damage caused by the rotor, which was allegedly just inches from hitting the officer. Israel allegedly continued to resist other officers, but was eventually taken into custody. Emergency medical services were immediately sent for Israel, and he survived the injuries. The 24-year-old officer was treated and released after minor injuries. The officer had 4 years of service at the time. A medical examiner was called to assess the 75-year-old woman, who had no signs of trauma. It was later determined she died from lung cancer, though the exact time of death remains unclear. An investigation was opened to determine if the use of force was justified after the officer-involved shooting incident took place. During this investigation, the officer was placed on administrative leave. On December 5, 2022, roughly 3 weeks after the shooting, the Milwaukee County District Attorney found the use of force was justified. The officer will face no charges regarding this incident. For this incident, Israel was charged with 1 count of battery of a law enforcement officer, 1 count of resisting an officer, and 2 counts of bail jumping, which was linked to a $2,500 signature bond for prior disorderly conduct charges, according to news sources. In February 2023, the court determined he was incompetent to make decisions related to his case and assist with his defense. However, the court deemed he was a likely candidate to regain competency in his case. He was forced to participate in 62 days of competency restoration treatment, credited as jail time if sentenced. In May 2023, he remained incompetent, leading to extended treatment. By late July 2023, the court declared him competent and set a $5,000 cash bond. In August 2023, he pled not guilty and posted the $5,000 cash bond in September after 10 months in custody. Though the case was prepared for trial, in February 2024, 15 months after the incident, the state dismissed all charges and refunded his bail. However, in March 2024, he was recharged for the same incident with 1 count of attempting to disarm a peace officer, 1 count of resisting or obstructing an officer, and 1 count of bail jumping. A $5,000 signature bond was set in April 2024, and in June, he pled not guilty once again. At the time of posting this video, the case remains pending. Additionally, Israel currently faces separate, unrelated charges for stalking and violating a restraining order in relation to domestic abuse, along with felony bail jumping.
Now, when police receive calls for a check on the well-being, it's often a very delicate situation. And though we do use compassion, we also have to respond with caution, because as usual, police enter these situations knowing very little. And I've responded to many welfare check calls, and most times the person was either asleep or not home. But on that rare occasion, unfortunately, the end result wasn't always a happy ending. So today we're in Milwaukee and we have a concerned neighbor calling 911 so police can do.
That shit was ass. So she died from lung cancer. So he did all that shit for no reason.
Get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose.
Oh, we thought the Grizzlies fired their head coach late. Bam! The Nuggets fire coach Michael Malone and GM Calvin Booth 1 week before the playoffs. That ties the latest coaching change of all time. So the first thing people ask, what about Nikola Jokic? Because in recent weeks, the national media has accused the Nuggets of wasting Joker's prime. Clips have come out of Jokic more frustrated than we have ever seen him. So did he call up the ownership to fire people? You kidding? ESPN once asked Jokic about the coach and GM and he said, "That's not my job. I'm just trying to play basketball." This is one of the most low-maintenance superstars in history, up there with Stephen Curry. Joker doesn't make trade demands. He didn't even subtweet his own teammates like LeBron James. So what happened? Well, 1 week ago, the Nuggets left everything on the court. Double OT game, leading Minnesota by 1 point. Denver gets the steal, but Russell Westbrook misses the dagger layup. 1 second left then. Ball finds Nickeil Alexander-Walker in the corner. Russ fouls him on a three-point shot. That leads to free throws and a Nuggets loss. Now, we have seen Russ blow bunnies like that. I mean, 1 day later, an even worse miss. And check out Jokic's face on that one. But Joker dropped a career-high 61 in the Wolves loss. Soul-crushing. And it's Denver's entire problem in a nutshell. Leaning all on Jokic, players around him just not good enough. So Denver unraveled, losing 4 in a row, sliding from a solid 4 seed to tied for 5th, now a half game back of 8th. This team could go from hosting a playoff series to the play-in. To make things worse, Jamal Murray is now questionable for the playoffs with a hamstring injury. Things are falling apart at the wrong time. Season looks as dead as their mascot Rocky looked when he accidentally passed out during halftime. So sad. But why let go of the GM and the coach? I mean, something bigger feels like it's going on behind the scenes. But what a crazy end of this season. Only about a week left in the regular season. Ton of games for and best of all, in big money. I can fix this. I know another way. So in place of those vets, they drafted guys like Zeke Naji, Christian Brown, Julian Strother, acquired Peyton Watson. But the problem is Michael Malone hates playing young guys. He doesn't trust them. Like, as a coach, he's just trying to win the next game, not develop players for the future. So by the end of last year, they went from defending champ to second round exit. Nuggets blew a 20-point lead in Game 7 to the Wolves, in part because the vets were tired and hurt from playing so much. Jamal Murray was basically playing on one leg. So Booth blamed Coach Malone. Plugged-in reporter Kevin O'Connor said Booth and Malone never liked each other, rarely spoke, and talked behind each other's backs. So with the team struggling, Nuggets ownership decided to fire both. Insane. But how bad was Coach Michael Malone anyway? I mean, isn't he the winningest head coach in team history? Guy who won them in title? The only coach Nikola Jokic has ever had? Yes, but he's also kind of an a-hole.
Did you feel like there was anything that you guys got away from offensively?
Next question, man. Stupid questions.
Okay, we do not actually feel bad for the media, but what about the players? Well, first of all, Malone had a strong bond with each and every guy. Like when Jamal Murray tore his ACL, he thought he was damaged goods. Malone went to Murray, who had tears in his eyes on the team bus, asking if they're gonna trade him. And Malone said to his face, hell no, you are our guy, and when you come back, you're gonna be better than ever, which he was, and they won the championship. But when things get hard, Malone sometimes treated his guys like children.
The guys that are full won't hear it. You know, they'll say coach is tripping because they're not going to go back and watch their minutes because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film.
Yeah, like, well, nobody around here actually does.
So nobody watches film. They just go out there and play. That shit is terrible. I ain't gonna lie. That's terrible coaching right there. I feel like you should be literally trying to coach your team to strategize against the next team.
Their job and watches film, I'm gonna have to do it for them. Not great. So I will bet that during this recent stretch where they're losing a lot of games, like Malone was just so hard to deal with that ownership just wanted to get him out as soon as possible. But what happens next? Well, they have promoted lead assistant David Adelman to head coach. If they somehow go on a deep playoff run from here, he could get a look at head coach permanently. But this is Nikola Jokic here, okay? They've got to swing big. They've got like a top 10 player of all time in his prime. They cannot mess this up. Big reason for this was the national media saying they are messing it up, wasting Joker's prime. So are they gonna hire a dude like David Adelman with zero head coaching experience? No. I will bet the short list right now looks something like this. Chauncey Billups, if he gets let go in Portland, he is a Nuggets legend. Mike Budenholzer, who could leave Phoenix. Frank Vogel, as tired as that name is, I know. And believe it or not, Mike D'Antoni will probably get a call, okay? The owners have loved D'Antoni for years, have tried to hire him forever. But a first-round exit will mean an even bigger change. Because before the season, Michael Porter Jr. told ESPN, if we don't win it this year, we all know they might have to break it up. And that means the core four. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and MPJ. Joker is one of the best talents to never play with an all-star in his career as a teammate. This is the Nuggets' best last chance to fix that. So what's wrong with the team around Jokic to cause all this mess? So what has gone wrong with this roster that they need to improve? Well, Denver's defense has been terrible all year, and a majority of their problems revolve around Nikola Jokic. I'm sorry, but it's true. Yes, he puts forth great effort. He's got a high basketball IQ, but watch this. First, Nikola lacks the foot speed to defend one-on-one. If a quicker guard or big gets him matched up in open space, it's pretty much a guaranteed bucket. Second, Nikola lacks the verticality to be an effective rim protector. Might be 7 feet, but he doesn't have the lift to offer any real resistance in the paint. And that lack of vertical presence makes it difficult for Nikola to play drop coverage. Look at how easily Andrew Nembhard is able to work down into the paint to separate for an easy jumper over him. We'll see him again here, stunt up on the screen, but as the ball gets swung across, these two weak side defenders have to get matched up with Nembhard and Obi Toppin spotting up. It's up to Jokic to scramble down to protect the paint, but there's just no way he's going to make up all that ground. However, look, we know that if you put 4 good defenders around Nikola Jokic, it's enough to win a championship. And by far, the Nuggets' best defensive lineup is when they sub in Peyton Watson and Russell Westbrook for Jamal Murray and MPJ, so they can put Jokic on the weakest offensive link while the other 4 players get matched up and play the offense straight up. It works. But, and here's the big problem with this roster, what the Nuggets gain with that defensive lineup, they lose offensively. First, with MPJ and Murray off the court, the Nuggets don't have anybody else who's both an accurate accurate and high-volume three-point shooter. That gives the off-ball defense a license to roam around on their man and blow up the Nuggets' primary action. So Denver here is going to set this ball screen for Jokic in semi-transition. Notice how Brandon Podziemski is going to just ignore Peyton Watson on the wing, shift across the court, and Golden State happy to give up that wide-open three. And this play here is pretty wild, where Russ and Nikola are running this two-man game, and notice how Tyrese Halliburton from the weak side is going to shift over and take away the pass back to Nikola. That funnels Westbrook into a contested finish. They either have a lineup that's good on defense, but not both, and it needs to fix. But the Nuggets obviously got the message about wasting Joker's prime, so now they are sending a message that they are serious about saving it. But Denver's not going to be the only big move this summer. Zion Williamson has been on the trade block since this last deadline. Shams says that him and the Pelicans are going to have tough conversations, but this is why Zion will be traded. Yo, it's Casey. This is AM Hoop.
I feel like they feel like Zion is a fucking... he kind of disappointed because he don't play enough games, but he playing good basketball when he does play.
First thing people thought when the Memphis Grizzlies fired their coach was, oh, Ja Morant's got something to do with this. Teams don't fire coach without input from the biggest star, so what happened? Well, this guy, Taylor Jenkins, was the winningest coach in franchise history. They were a 4 seed with 9 games in the playoffs. That never happens. Okay, the Hawks did it twice, 81 and 76, but they were nowhere near the playoffs. And if you expand it to more than 9 games left, 2 other playoff teams have done it the last 50 years. The Nets, with KD and Kyrie, who wanted to handpick their next head coach. So what happened in Memphis? Well, we are finally getting some answers. So 2 years ago, the Grizz were coming off yet another 2 seed with high expectations, but the Lakers smacked them in the first round. A big problem? Their half-court offense. When Memphis had fewer transition plays, their offense got bogged down. So the front office fired most of Jenkins' staff and hired a new Euro named Tomasi Salo and a guy named Noah LaRoche from the Spurs who installed a crazy new offense. Thinking basketball shows how most NBA teams look like this, right? I mean, they use screens to create an advantage. In the 80s and 90s, it was all about the post-up, where a big man would play near the basket. But watch the 2025 Grizz. Do you notice anything? There are no screens. It's like 5 dudes playing isolation basketball, which is crazy. And at first, the Grizz had a top 5 offense and defense, hallmark of a contender. But something weird happened. That top 5 defense has been 20th over the last 40 games. The offense is fine, but Ja Morant hates it. He thrives on driving to the rim off of a screen. I mean, they drafted 7'4" Zach Edey to be a pick and roll partner with Ja. What pick and roll? Instead, Ja's turning the ball over trying to post up Edey for the most turnovers of Ja's career. And on defense, Edey is to blame for some of this breakdown. Like against the Knicks, the game plan was clearly to attack and put Edey in pick and roll as much as possible. I mean, he's been good as a rookie, but struggles to guard elite point guards in pick and roll, lacks the foot speed to meet the ball at the level of the screen, and overcommits to the ball to give up dimes to the roller. But for Ja on offense, his numbers are down across the board. He was All-NBA in 2022, got MVP votes that year and 2023, but now, dude is playing below All-Star level, which is crazy for the future face of the league. Yes, injuries have something to do with that, but so does this offense. An anonymous Grizzly source said, some days he's look like he's ready to play, and some days he looks like he doesn't want to be there because he hates the offense. So did Ja walk in and demand they fire his head coach? Well, GM Zach Kleiman says, no, he made the decision all by himself without Ja. But that's what he would say so that Ja doesn't have to face heat from the media. But another Grizzly source said Ja was shocked and said out loud, "Oh shit," when he found out. Because apparently, Ja was surprised. He loves Taylor Jenkins. So why would they fire the coach, even though their best player loved him? Well, the breaking point happened 1 month ago. After this, there was no coming back. In 3 straight games, coaching burned the Grizz. Against New York, Jenkins set Ja up to fail by defending Jalen Brunson. It's a mismatch, so the Memphis defense breaks down, sending extra help, leading to a wide open OG Anunoby 3 to lose the game. And the very next night, against the Spurs, Edey, again in the game with under a minute to go, so you'd probably guess, yeah, the Spurs put him in pick and roll against De'Aaron Fox, leading to a mismatch and 3 points. But the final play of the game was even more bizarre. Fox is looking to dribble out the clock to get the final shot, but look how Jenkins on the right side of the screen is motioning for Pippen to come in to double the ball, which you do in the final seconds, not 10 seconds left. So De'Aaron's got time to give up the ball, get it back, and now he knows where the double is gonna come from. So De'Aaron can just explode to his strong left hand, get away from the help, and pull up for the win. And the next game against Atlanta, coaching fails again. Jaren Jackson and Ja were out, so offense was the problem. On the final 3 possessions, Memphis is gonna put Luke Kennard in pick and roll, so the Hawks switch and eat up that action. Then the ball gets kicked out to Vince Williams, who gets completely swallowed by the defense. Not good. But with the game tied and the offense clearly struggling to create, you call a timeout to draw something up. Look, there are 2 timeouts remaining. But instead, Jenkins lets Desmond Bane go ISO against Dyson Daniels, possibly Defensive Player of the Year, which kills the game. That is 3 straight last-second losses. Hadn't happened since 2002 because of coaching. So despite their good start, Memphis has lost 11 of 19 since the All-Star break, are terrible against good teams. I mean, if you've got a winning record, the Grizzlies don't stand a chance. Desmond Bane shoving his own teammates during timeouts. Every team in the West is praying to face the Grizzlies or the Rockets in the first round. The Rockets because they're a young team. The Grizz because they're not that good. So if they lose in the first round again, what happens next?
Constantly checking in with executives around trade deadline about like what's next, and somebody out of the blue said, keep an eye on Ja this summer.
Yo, it's Casey.
Trading Ja is crazy.